races in, already 4 different race winners, which means right now, potentially, our 16-slot playoff grid could be a quarter of the way full. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready to cap off what's been a really exciting race weekend here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Getting ready here today for an extended race, as it's 49 laps on the scheduled distance here today, as opposed to the 33 laps we ran in both the Trucks and Pizza Deck Series races, which means fuel could be a factor in this race, not just once, but twice. We could be in for a 2 green flag pit stop race. Maybe if we get some cautions, they can save enough fuel to only be able to make it on 1 stop, but certainly going to be a strategy race nonetheless. On the front row for today's race, Sean Gallighan lines up on the top position, P1. Talk about a driver that really needs a good run in his last 4 starts. No top 10s, a 32nd place average finish, and he is 41st in the points coming into this race. It's been a very struggling start to the year for the driver out of Kyotech Racing, and so Sean Gallighan certainly hoping that this good starting track position will be a good omen for him here today. Alongside of him, it's going to be the 31 of D Poteet. Now, on the flip side, D Poteet's had a very good start to the season. He's 11th in the point standings coming into this race, and would like to be able to crack the top 10 with his first win of the season. But the last 2 races we've had here for the Trucks and the Pizza Hut X Series have been quite interesting. We ended up having a first-time winner in the Truck Series race, and we had a first-time winner in the Pizza Hut X Series race. So only time is going to tell as to what's going to happen here for the Hersheys Cup Series drivers. We still have some candidates here in this field that are looking for their first career Hersheys Cup Series win. We'll see if it happens. Let's go down and get that command.
Drivers, start your engines!
So, as the command's given, and the pace car will lead the field around this D-shaped 1.5-mile speedway, we will give you a top 10 the point standings coming into this race, presented by Blame Shelley Insurance. Joseph Srigley is now the new points leader by 3 points over Kyle Mathews. Keith Batson currently 3rd in the standings, 15 points out. Top 3 held by non-winners this season. Then you get to a couple of race winners from this year. J Cittadino in 4th, Levi McIntire in 5th. Then Brandon Gonzales is 6th, Seth Cole 7th, Kyle Keith now in 8th, Scott Roush in 9th, currently points leader, and James McLeod currently sits in 10th. Rest of our former winners from this season, of course, last week's winner from Memphis, Jessica Shelton, jumped up to 12th in the point standings with that victory, and our Daytona 500 winner Tim Walsh runs in 16th in the points coming into this race. So right now, all 4 of our previous race winners would be eligible for spots in the upcoming playoffs. But who will join them, or will we see one of those 4 maybe go to victory lane for a second time this season, and maybe become the first confirmed driver to be in the Hersheys Cup Series Season 7 playoffs? We'll find out, but this is certainly going to be an interesting race to see what happens in terms of fuel strategy. Can they make it on 1 stop? Will they have to make 2 stops? Something tells me they'll have to do 2, but you never know. Crew chiefs down there may be working the calculators, and we're ready to go racing in Atlanta. Let's roll! Gallighan to the point. Baskinger slots to 2nd. Sandfer into 3rd. Trying to clear the 31, he does, and now he's going to try and get 2nd place from the 38 of J Baskinger. Baskinger, I think, is going to hold on to the spot, though. Looks like the Coors Light Truck Series and Pizza Deck Series drivers laid down an awful lot of rubber up in that 2nd groove. Baskinger able to use that grip to hold Sandfer at bay, keep 2nd spot. D Poteet slots into 4th place, and Tim Walsh right there in 5th. Tim Walsh, a former winner here at Atlanta, winning the Season 1 Atlanta race, the debut race of Atlanta on the schedule. Take a look and see who some of the other former winners of this race were. As Baskinger again under fire for 2nd, holds on to the spot. Now Walsh looking for 4th on D Poteet. Follow that battle. That's the best battle on track at the moment between the 15 and the 31. Maybe a battle brewing for the lead in just a moment between Gallighan and Baskinger. But back in Season 2, Charles Sandfer, who's currently running in third. He ended up winning this race, so 2 of our previous winners are up here inside the top 5, as that was the 14 of Dallas McIntosh. His Dodge just leaving pit road, so I don't know if he had trouble on the grid or not, but he's just now heading on to heading off of pit lane onto the racetrack. Season 3, the race winner was Matt Haas. I believe, if I remember correctly, that was his 2nd win of the year. He had won 2 weeks before that season at Las Vegas. Season 5, it was Leon Alvarez, who ran his last year in the Hersheys Cup Series last season. Season 5's Atlanta race winner, as I'm trying to wait for the web page to load up here, was Cole Baker. Baker ended up going coast to coast, pole to win in that event. He's in this field in the 15, and last year, I think it was Dylan Poteet, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Poteet also last year went coast to coast, pole to win. So 4 of the previous race winners are in this field, and 3 of them are running up inside the top 5, and we got some cars on pit road. Or was that the 14 again? There was a car on pit road. I think that might have been Dallas McIntosh. He's on pit road again. So problems for the 14 of McIntosh. I don't know what's up with his Dodge, but he was just on pit road, just came off, and now he's back on pit road again. McIntosh had a struggle last week as well at Memphis when he was running in 6th place, had to come to pit road on the last lap. Fortunately, his pit stall was down past the start-finish line, so he officially crossed the line in 12th, but was en route to a solid top 10 run and basically had to give it up for some kind of mechanical issue on the last lap of that race. Well, we've got a new driver up here in this pack. That's the 61 of Anthony McCrury. McCrury coming into this race, currently situated 17th in points, did not have a good outing last week at Memphis. Got involved in a wreck on pit road during the cycle of green flag pit stops after contact with C Dollerton. So looking to bounce back from that here today, as it's Chevys all the way up through this field from 1st on back through 9th place. First Ford, actually no, it'd be back through to now 7th place. First Ford now battling for 8th. Levi McIntire in the 99. J Cittadino, our winner from Arizona. Kyle Mathews, 2nd in points up here, just outside the top 10. I think he would be currently scored in 11th. And Benny Watson, 4-time winner last season, now up here in the top 10th place, as he is trying to work with Levi McIntire. They're trying to work their way up towards the front. Jessica Shelton, our winner from 1 week ago, battling here with C Dodd and Cole Baker. Baker, former winner at this racetrack, and right behind her is the points leader, Joseph Srigley, that 21 car. Shelton battling with C Dodd right now. That would be for the 14th position, I believe. Might actually be for 13th. So we should cross the line. Yeah, it was actually for 13th place. Right now, from McIntyre, Cittadino on back, they're all bunched up together. We've got J Arndt by himself in the 7th spot, and the top 6, all remaining single file, have gapped the field by almost 5 seconds. Gallighan, Sandfer, Walsh, Baskinger, Poteet, and McCrury all seeming to want to settle this race out for themselves. If they continue to do this, there's just no way that those guys behind them are going to be able to run them down. Yeah, over 5 seconds, 5.2 seconds back to 7th place J Arndt. Now, out of this group, only, out of this group, none of them are teammates. Gallighan is out of Kyotech. Oh, yeah, 2 of them are teammates, actually, McCrury and Gallighan. You got Sandfer out of Retro Racing Enterprises, Baskinger out of Flying Aces Racing, Walsh out of CJ Racing, and Poteet out of Tweenix Racing. So really out of these 6, there's only 2 teammates. For the most part, they're all just aligned because they all have a Chevy bow tie on the front. Now this group back here trying to get themselves formulated up, but you see they're still double wide back there. Hartnett, Gilbert, Cole Baker, so I don't think these guys in any way are going to start reeling in those top 6. They basically need a caution, I would say. Either a caution or they're going to need some very unordinary pit strategy, I would say. McIntyre went up to that 3rd groove. I don't know if he went up there of his own accord or he got kicked up there, but whoa, Cole Baker got down on the apron. He's still down there. Gonna let him up. Yeah, his teammate Jordan Anderson's gonna let him up there, but boy, that's gonna wad up that group back there for sure. John Arndt now under fire. He was running by himself in 7th, and now Joseph Srigley trying to take that spot. Srigley trying to keep the points lead. Looking good, as right now he is running a lot better than Kyle Mathews. He's currently ahead of J Cittadino and Keith Batson, as well as Levi McIntyre, drivers that are trying to challenge him for that points lead. Daniel Guilbert had a great run last week at Memphis, finished that race, I think it was in the top 5. Yeah, he finished runner-up to Jessica Shelton. Running well here as he's now cracked the top 10. Shane Lake also had a good run last week, 13th at Memphis, and he's also up here in the top 10. Same for Emmanuel Hartnett. Hartnett was 15th last week, and he's currently up here, trying to take, I think that would be 10th place from the 55. Meanwhile, up here at the front, Dallas McIntosh, his struggles continue. He's already, I think, at least 3 laps down. No, he's 6 laps down, and he's about to go a 7th down to Sean Gallighan. Looks like he's now up to speed, so whatever the issue was for him at the start of this race, they have fixed it. But now he is between Charles Sandfer and Sean Gallighan, so an up-to-speed lap machine separating 1st and 2nd. Sandfer now going to try and get to the inside of McIntosh as the 2nd through 6th contingency tries to reel the 44 back in. Back when Cole Baker went coast-to-coast pole to win here at Atlanta 2 seasons ago, he was driving for Seth Cole Baker Motorsports, which is now condensed down to Kyotech Racing, so no surprise to see 2 of those entries running up here inside of the top 5. Gallighan in the lead, McCrury in 5th. We've never had a repeat winner here at Atlanta, and we've got 3 contestants up here in this lead pack in the top 6, Sandfer, Walsh, and Poteet. Like I said, it was Walsh season 1, Sandfer season 2, and Poteet season 6. Sandfer trying again to get around Dallas McIntosh, but McIntosh is clearly up to speed. He's going to use that middle groove again on the exit of the corner. Well, I thought he was going to. Now Sandfer might get him here in 3 and 4. Tim Walsh jumped up to the outside line. I think he thought maybe he could get around Sandfer for 2nd using the 14. That's going to cost him. He's going to lose 3rd to Baskinger, 4th to McCrury, and maybe drop out of the top 5 as now Dylan Poteet is alongside him. Gallighan, though, as these drivers having some difficulty getting around the lap machine of Dallas McIntosh, continues to lead the way. His lap times have slowed a bit, but not by much. His lap was 26.123. He's now running about 26.9s. But even so, he's hitting over 200 miles per hour. Heading down the back straightaway here. Let's see what he tops out at. 209 going into turn 3. And he was going about 215 into turn 3 in the beginning stages of this race. Let's see what the lap times difference might be here. 26.864, Sandfer ran a 7:01, so that was a much faster lap in the draft for Charles Sandfer, as they're going to try and get back to the bumper of the 44 car. And Baskinger ran a 6.84, 6.41 for McCrury, 6.23 for Poteet, so that just shows you that the speed gets faster as you go further back through the drafting line. Let's see what Gallighan this time, 26.795. 26.825 for Sandfer. Surprisingly, Gallighan was faster that lap by about roughly 7/100ths. So maybe Sandfer is not the driver that should be leading this group, but doesn't matter. Pit stops are taking place. Sandfer's going to stay out. Walsh stays out. Gallighan's on pit road, and a number of others have already hit pit lane. Boy, there's the 12 J Bryant. He had a lot of damage. I don't know if you just saw that. A lot of damage on the right front and the right side of his car. I don't know if that was contact on pit road or if he made contact with the wall here into this green flag run, but a lot of damage on the 22. So Sandfer will lead a lap. And it looks like he's now going to come to pit road. Tim Walsh about to do the same. Another car that stayed out was the 21 of Joseph Srigley along with the 20 of Emmanuel Hartnett. And I think those might be the last two drivers on the lead lap that need to pit. And they're going to come to pit road this time. So it's basically, I think, going to be between the 44 team and the 03 team as to who's going to be exiting pit road, cycling around as the race leader. Someone just made contact with somebody else there on pit road. I couldn't tell if that was the 21 with someone or not. It looks like the 83 of Chris Dollerton may have had issues on pit road. It doesn't look like he's getting serviced right now. Oh, yes, he is. Yeah, he's just now leaving. So let's jump up here. There's the 15 leaving pit road. There's the 03. Now, where's the 44 of Sean Gallighan? There he is, and I think he's going to get around Charles Sandfer. Very easily going to get around him, and he will take the race lead back. And this green flag pit stop cycle has certainly also put some drivers a lap down, so traffic is probably going to be a factor for a number of these race leaders. Right there you see the 3 and the 26 that would be on the tail end of the lead lap ahead of the race leader Sean Gallighan, who does indeed cycle back to the lead. Sandfer currently now in second. McCrury would be third. Baskinger now fourth. Fifth is Tim Walsh. Sixth is D Poteet. Seventh place is... Boy, who in the world is it? J Arndt. 8th, Joseph Srigley. 9th is D Guilbert. And right now, completing the top 10 would be Emmanuel Hartnett. 11th place is Shane Lake. Shelton in 12th. 13th is Fitzwater. Boy, a lot of lap cars here. 14th place. I believe that might have been a battle for it right there between Scott Roush and K Shearer. That's 14th and 15th. 16th place is Jordan Anderson. 17th, Trent Dunham. 18th, Cole Baker. 19th is Dylan Young. 20th, Levi McIntyre. Kyle Keith in 21st. 22nd, Holly Davis. 23rd, Daniel Voyles. And that's it for the cars on the lead lap. Everyone else is a lap down. So the pit stops definitely did shuffle up this field. No doubt about that. The rest of the lap cars where they're running right now, if you go down from 24th on down, Keith Batson 24th, Cody Lamas 25th. Your top 30 are Benjamin Miles, Benny Watson, Seth Cole, James McLeod, Brandon Gonzales. 31st to 35th are Smart, Dollerton, Bryant, Reynolds, and Lopez. And then Cittadino back in 36th, Shears 37th, Chris Dodd 38th, 39th, Johnny Gardner. Joshua Osborne 40th, 41st Kyle Mathews, and now 5 laps down, getting one of those laps back is Dallas McIntosh. Sandfer just got bypassed. New second place driver Anthony McCrury, so now Kyotech Racing 1-2. Gallighan here with a lot of traffic he's dealing with. Holly Davis, Daniel Voyles, they now go a lap down. Keith Batson in the 39, that's actually a battle for position for him, trying to get by the 3 and the 26. That would move him from 24th up to 22nd, and look at the 61. Big run for Anthony McCrury as he is closing the gap up on his Kyotech Racing teammate. He's got a lot of traffic to deal with, though, before he can get up there to the 44. There you see Dallas McIntosh on pit road making his regularly scheduled green flag pit stop a few laps after everybody else, but then again he was on pit road for about the first 3-4 laps of this race. Sandfer's car just does not seem to be quite as fast as these Kyotech Racing Chevrolets. He wasn't able to get up to Sean Gallighan's back bumper earlier on, and McIntosh is still on pit road. There's something very badly wrong with that 14. I don't know what it is, but it's the second or third time he's been on pit road, and again, it's an extended stay. McCrury gets by Holly Davis. Gallighan got bypassed by Keith Batson. Batson now back on the tail end of the lead lap in 22nd. And don't look now, Sean Galligan's about to have a rear deck lid full of his teammate. Now these drivers came to pit road around laps 26 to 28. If that is as far as they can go on fuel, that means that they would be able to make it somewhere between lap 52 to 56. So that actually might be their only pit stop. I thought they would have to stop twice. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, and we have a new race leader. Anthony McCrury in the 61 will go to the position. Galligan's going to battle back on that outside line, though. Can't quite do it, though. He tried there through 3 and 4. Unsuccessful. Baskinger all by his lonesome here in the 4th position. Tim Walsh might end up, well, no, I thought he was going to have a battle on his hands, but no, he's currently just riding in 5th. He's got some lap traffic ahead and behind him. Lamas and McIntosh ahead, Watson behind. Poteet there in the 31 dealing with the lap car of Benjamin Miles. Best battle might be back here between himself, Joseph Srigley, and Daniel Guilbert. Poteet in 6th, Srigley in 7th, Guilbert in 8th. We got more lap traffic all through here. Cody Smart, McLeod, Seth Cole. And there's J Arndt, currently scored in the 9th position. And then he's got quite a gap before you get back here to Shane Lake, currently in the 10th spot. That's Lake, Shelton, and Hartnett, I believe, are the only cars on the lead lap in this group. 10th, 11th, and 12th. There's 13th place Zachary Fitzwater, though he's got a lot of right side damage. He's in a battle right now for that spot with K Shearer and Scott Roush. So that's 13th, 14th, 15th. Trent Dunham running in 16th, or riding I should say, with Dylan Young there in 17th, 18th Jordan Anderson. There's Baker by himself in 19th, and this is right ahead of the race leaders. Kyle Keith's right now in 20th, actually now drop him back to 21st as Keith Batson just took that spot. And Levi McIntyre just went a lap down, currently scored in 22nd. Keith now also a lap down, and boy, Galligan's not letting McCrury get away. Gallighan is right there if McCrury makes a mistake, and the laps are winding down. Right now, Keith Batson seems to be the lead car for these race leaders. Keith Batson, when pit stops began and they cycled around, he was running 26th. He is now up in the top 20 in the 20th position. And if he can get up here to these guys, like Baker and Anderson, Young, Dunham, he could be up as high as 16th when this race finishes. These two race leaders, along with Keith Batson, are putting together a really good draft. Running anywhere lap times between 26.5s and 26.7s. Gallighan hoping that McCrury makes a mistake so he can get to the inside. Now McCrury's going to go low on Batson, thinks better of it, slides back in line. Right now, it's looking like it's definitely going to be a Cowtech Racing 1-2. The question is, in which order are they going to finish? Will it be McCrury, the former champion, with the win, or will it be Gallighan? I mean, you look at the point stands, and you can see who definitely needs it most. McCrury 17th in points, Gallighan 41st in the standings. And they're closing in on Cole Baker, who was a former teammate to these drivers the last 2 seasons, last 3 seasons actually. He's not going to be really worried about the 61 and the 44, I don't think. He's going to be more worried about the 39, because that's going to be a battle for, what, 18th position, I think. No, 19th position. And depending on how they encounter the 18 and the 89 of Anderson, who's just a little ways ahead as well, Gallighan might be able to do something. I think McCrury may have brushed the wall a little bit there, heading into turn 3. As there will be 3 laps to go here at Atlanta, and Gallighan closes up the distance between himself and his teammate. closer to that 18, who is obviously a little bit slower. He's going to stifle the momentum of this group just a little bit, and that might be the opportunity for Gallighan to be able to pounce. How long can the 44 wait? 2 laps to go as McCrury hits the line. Batson trying to go to the inside of Cole Baker. Baker looks to throw the block. Doesn't succeed. Batson stays with him. Baker, though, going to battle back on the top side. McCrury goes up high. He opens the door down low for Gallighan. Will Gallighan take it? Oh, I think he wanted to, but he couldn't quite. And now McCrury left side by side with Cole Baker. White flag in the air, 1 more lap to go. Gallighan's got another opportunity here, possibly with where they catch the 89. Let's see what happens. Where's McCrury going to go as they catch Anderson? Batson goes low. McCrury going to go high, now down low, and he blocks any opportunity Gallighan has of taking this race win. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Gallighan's going to try the high side at the last minute. Almost got alongside, but Anthony McCrury will win here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. First win of the season for the Season 1 Hersheys Cup Series champion. 5th different winner this year. And Anthony McCrury with this victory, trying to lock himself up a spot in the playoffs, trying to become the first 2-time Hersheys Cup Series champion. It is the 2nd win of the season for Kyotech Racing, and Kyotech Racing finishes with a 1-2 run here tonight at Atlanta. So this team, despite the fact of losing 2 of its centerpiece owners, Cole Baker and Seth Cole, this coming year, Anthony McCrury taking on the ownership, keeping Sean Gallighan on the team, bringing in J Cittadino, and this has been a very formidable team up to this point. So McCrury with the victory. Well-needed run for Sean Gallighan. 41st in the points coming to this race. Really needed a good run. If not a win, second's the next best thing. Charles Sandfer there in 3rd. That's about where he was most of this race, either 2nd or 3rd. He didn't really have a strong enough car to get up there to the front and lead this race, but solid podium position for Sandfer, and that's another driver that actually needed a good run coming into this race, as Sandfer was 24th in the points coming to this race. Joseph Srigley will undoubtedly keep the points lead with a top 5 run here today in 4th, and J Baskinger is going to bring it home in the 5th position, another driver that needed a good run, 31st in points with a top 5. Daniel Guilbert, back-to-back weeks of a top 10 finish, so he gets 6th. Tim Walsh will finish the day out in 7th, J Arndt in 8th, Dylan Poteet there in 9th, and completing your top 10 was Jessica Shelton, following up her win last week at Memphis. Rest of your top 15 were Emmanuel Hartnett, Shane Lake, K Shearer, Zachary Fitzwater, and Scott Roush. And the last 3 cars to finish on the lead lap, 18 cars finishing on the lead lap in this race. Trent Dunham, Dylan Young, and Keith Batson. Everybody else finished off the lead lap after that cycle green flag pit stop certainly shuffled things up. As you look on down here through the remainder of the finishing results, from Anderson in 19th all the way down to Mathews in 41st. That's a driver that came in 2nd in the points, by the way, Mathews, so not the run he was looking for. And Dallas McIntosh had a lot of issues here today, was on pit road numerous times for extended periods of time, and he finishes 8 laps down in the 42nd position. So certainly not the run he needed. A driver that came into this race 14th in the point standings after a 12th place run last week at Memphis. But that is going to do it here today from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Anthony McCrury joins Jessica Shelton, Levi McIntyre, J Cittadino, and Tim Walsh as a winner this season. So now 5 races, 5 different race winners. Will we see a 6th next week? We'll have to wait and see. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. These are your rookie point stands, your overall point stands heading into next week. We've got the Last of Us Light Series with their 3rd race of the season at the Turkey Triangle Pocono Raceway. And then Pizza Deck Series and Hersheys Cup Series will be bringing their action to you from the Monster Mile. It's Dover International Raceway. That's going to be a wild one. But we will see you guys next time as you've been watching Production of the NCRA Offline Racing at its best. The former champion Anthony McCrury goes to victory lane here tonight at Atlanta.